Quadruped Wrist Mobility series. So we're going to start on our hands and knees, index finger pointing straight forwards. We're going to gently push the floor away. We don't want to round out too much where we're shrugging and rounding out the back, and we don't want to be too much in extension. Just a gentle push away from the floor so our shoulder blades are starting to wrap around. This will help engage the core a little bit, and we're going to rock from the heel of our hand, so this point of your hand rocking towards the fingers. Okay, so our shoulders are going to come forward, towards and past our fingertips if we can. This might cause quite a lot of pressure through the wrists. If it does and if it pinches, just elevate that heel part of your hand using a rolled up towel, a sock or a book. It'll give you a little bit more room in the wrist to rock forwards. We want to go through 5 to 10 reps. From there, we can turn our fingers back. If you can get your index finger to point you, that's exactly what we're looking for. And from there, instead of rocking forwards this time, we're going to rock back. Still trying to keep the heel of your hand on the ground. If it's too intense, you can move your knees closer forwards and sit back. If you've got more room, you can move your knees further back and rock back. We don't want to try and change spine position too much, so we don't want to be overarched or over rounded. We want to stay nice and strong and rock back for 5 to 10. From that position, we're going to go palms down again, but turning the index fingers around the opposite way. So we're internally rotating through our shoulders, index fingers pointing back towards you, and again keeping that heel down as we rock back. Just open up outside of that wrist, 5 to 10 reps, and then to finish, the most intense one, we're going to go back of the wrist, down on the floor, turn your elbow crease forward, and we're going to rock back from there. If that's too intense, I'll just turn from the front. We can just turn to this position, gently start to press the back of the wrist down towards the ground. Go for 5 each side. If that's easy, we can do both at the same time. We're trying to keep the elbow crease forward and the elbow long. If that gets easy, we can go from that position and just start to gently turn our fingers back and rocking away. And then over time, we can turn the fingers all the way back and then rock back to open up through the back of our wrists. First knuckle wall push-ups. Find your wall and reach out till your fingertips touch. Place your hands flat on the wall with your index finger reaching up straight towards the ceiling. Tuck your pelvis. We can take half a step back if you want to make it more intense, and lift your heels. We want to stay nice and strong through the shoulder blades and our core is on. We aren't arching the lower back. We want to stay tight in this position. We're going to press from the first knuckles. So pressing our palm away from the wall and then back down. Press away and back down. Try and keep the knuckle of the index finger grounded through. Wall wrist walks. This exercise, we're going to train the back of the wrist, the forearms, while maintaining a strong spine position. So for our setup, we need to find a wall. Ideally, if you can find a padded wall, this will be easier. We want to find a position where you can make a fist and just reach the wall. So that would be level 1. We want to push the shoulder blades away from the wall, so we're rounding out your back. And we're going to do a little wrist walk where we drop the back one wrist towards the wall, keeping the elbow as long as we can, and then remake that fist. Press the other wrist towards the wall, and then remake that fist. We can make that more challenging by dropping one, dropping the other, and then repeating in reverse. So that'll be focused on my right hand side. I can then repeat that focused on the left, wrist, wrist, reverse, reverse. From there, I can make that even more challenging again by pressing both at the same time, trying to keep my elbows long and pressing back. To make that more challenging, just take a step back, changing the angle, and you repeat the same process one at a time. All that flow where we focus on one, then the other, or both at the same time. This is a really challenging movement for the back of the wrist, so start slow and build up. I'd recommend 5 each wrist for 3 sets, and then build to that little routine, 5 one side and then 5 the other, and then go for 5 to 10 reps both at the same time, and then progress that way. So you just gradually build up and move through those progressions. Wall hand push-ups. So for this exercise, we're going to need a wall. Ideally, fingertips away. Place your palms down on the wall. So roughly shoulder height. You can play around with height position on this. Do what feels comfortable. We want to have a strong position for our posture, so gently tuck pelvis, gently push our shoulder blades apart, so we're pushing our chest up back and away from the wall. For this movement, we want to have the index finger pointing straight up towards the ceiling, so we're going to reference off that finger. We don't want to have our hands too turned out or too turned in. We want to be running off that index finger. Through this exercise, you will feel other tissues working. So we might feel the inside of the elbow, really good for tendonitis, or we might feel the triceps working and our core. The goal of this exercise is to train the hand through the push-up position. So we're going to initiate the movement by dropping our elbows towards the wall. Notice I don't lose my spine position. I want to stay nice and tight through here. I've got a gentle squeeze of my glutes. If your calves are tight, you can lift your heels. That's not a problem. That doesn't really make much of a difference. And then I'm going to press back to the start. The hand focus comes in with the hand pressures. So as we drop down towards the wall, we should feel the pressure coming back towards the heel of the hand. When we reach the bottom, we want to press through those first knuckles and press ourselves away from the wall. So I'm really focusing on pressing through the knuckles at the bottom of my fingers there. You can add a little pause to build more tension. So as we drop down, we can pause, gently lift the heel of the hand about 1 millimeter away off the wall, and then press against the wall. That would be a nice progression if that starts to get easy. We want to try and aim for around 3 sets of 15 reps to start. So dropping in, elbows down towards the wall, keeping that strong core position, pressing through the front of the hand and pushing away. As we load down, the heel of the hand loads, push through the knuckles and press yourself away.